Good afternoon, Jordan, and welcome. Oh man, have we been waiting for you?
How you doing?
We are great, and it's really good to see you.
Yeah,
Uh,
you too.
I'm not going to waste too much time on introduction. Every minute with you is precious. So,
Oh,
for everybody out there, you all know this is Jordan Nolan, three-time Stanley Cup winner. And I tweeted the picture of you on the bridge
uh,
this morning. So, there we go. Welcome.
thank you.
Good afternoon. Today I have the pleasure of introducing Jordan Nolan. Jordan grew up in the Garden River First Nation in northern Ontario, where he could always be found in the local outdoor rink. After honing his skills on the ice, Jordan went on to play hockey in the NHL, and he won two Stanley Cups with the LA Kings. Today, Jordan works with his father Ted and his brother Brandon to give back to First Nations youth at their hockey skills camp called Three Nolans. Please join me in welcoming Jordan Nolan.
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Jordan Nolan, and I am from Garden River First Nation. I'm Ojibwe, and my father is Ted Nolan, who coached and played in the National Hockey League for the Buffalo Sabres. He was a coach, and he played for the Detroit Red Wings. You guys heard from my brother earlier today. He played in the NHL, and as you heard his story. But for myself, growing up in Garden River, I spent a long time outside, with my dad and my brother fishing and going for bike rides and playing in the bush and going to look at bears and looking at moose and that was probably the best part of my childhood was staying outdoors and being active with my parents. But during the winter months was really special for me. My dad and my brother would help make our family rink in the backyard, and that's where we kind of learned the game of hockey. That's where I fell in love with hockey. That's where me and my brother kind of learned our craft. But from a young age, I knew that I wanted to play in the NHL and be a professional hockey player. So when I was younger, I definitely just enjoyed playing with my friends, playing street hockey. And once we got into organized sports, I enjoyed playing with my teammates and getting to make some new friends. Lots of my teammates were my friends at school. And as I got older, we started to have a little bit more time with each other and hockey a little bit more serious. So around the time that I was in grade 10, I believe, that's when the Ontario Hockey League kind of came in the picture. That was the one of the steps that I had to take in order to play professional hockey. So yeah, grade 10, I was drafted to the Erie Otters, which is in Erie, Pennsylvania. And I was a little bit of a chunky kid growing up. My mom had a stay-at-home mom who always was making lots of treats and making lots of cookies for me and my brother. But yeah, grade 10, I was drafted to Erie Otters to play junior hockey. And I remember going there when I was in the summertime. And this was the first time I ever kind of been introduced to professional hockey and professional training. So I was a little bit blown away. I could see the guys who are, 18, 19, 20 years old. They looked like grown men. They were healthy. They were fit. They were confident in their abilities. And, I was just this young 16-year-old kid who's never really been in the gym or never really knew about the right food to eat and things like that. So that was a big eye opener for myself, and that's when I kind of started dedicating my life to fitness and kind of trying to be the best athlete I could be for my profession. But that summer was definitely a big change for myself. Like I said, I was a little bit overweight when I was a young man, but in order to play in the OHL, I had to lose some weight and really up my fitness game and my mental health game. So I remember, we started eating a little bit more vegetables at home and a little bit more salmon and chicken. And I remember going for runs. I never went for long runs before, so this was all kind of new to me at 16 years old, and it really kind of helped shape my life, I would say. Learning those things at 16 and learning those habits, and those habits have stayed with me. Now I'm almost 32 years old, but these habits and these routines that I've kind of made for myself the past 14 years, 16 years or so, have really shaped my life and have taken me to this moment here where, like you heard, I was a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, and lots of that started when I was 16 years old. So, and there's lots of obstacles along the way, and whatever you decide to do, there are going to be challenges, and it's not going to be easy. But for myself at 16, moving away from home for the first time was definitely a challenge. My dad was coaching in a different city. I believe he was coaching the New York Islanders at the time. My brother was playing in the American Hockey League at the time, and my mother was about 2 hours from Erie when I was playing junior hockey. So for me leaving home at the first time when I was 16, and each one of my family members in different cities, was definitely a challenge. And but I knew that I wanted to play professional hockey. I knew I wanted to play in the NHL one day, and this was one of the obstacles that I had to overcome. So it wasn't easy. I definitely had some lonely nights being away from home as a young man, but that's what just had to be done for my career. And it's like, if you want to become a doctor, there are tough nights where you got to study, and maybe you can't go outside with your friends because you got to do a big test tomorrow, whatever it is. Whatever you choose to do in life, it takes a lot of hard work, and takes a lot of preparation, and it takes a lot of time and sacrifices. So for myself, it was training and moving away from home. There's lots of times where I wanted to hang out with my friends, or wish I can go home and hang out with my old buddies, and go to parties on the weekends. But that's just things that I had to do. And even during the hockey season, there are times when I want to go to McDonald's or go get a burger and fries every single day, but I know that that's probably not the best thing for my body, and those won't help me with my craft and my profession of playing hockey. So these are things that I learned at a young age, that getting proper sleep, eating the right foods, staying active. I know these things have really improved my body, and really kind of made me feel good about myself, and confident in my abilities. If I was laying down all day and watching TV, eating in chips, I probably wouldn't feel too good about myself, and I probably wake up the next day, feeling a little tired or a little sluggish, and that's kind of a pattern that you will develop as time goes on. So, me being 32 years old now, and learning these things as a young man is definitely important, and that you all should kind of take into consideration. Even just going outside for a walk is important for your mental health, and those are things that could make you feel better about yourself. So even today, I go out for I'll try to go for a walk every morning, or listen to some music, some things to kind of lift my spirits a little bit. But that's definitely important for my mental health. But back to my junior career. So I played junior hockey for 5 years. I played for the Erie Otters, the Windsor Spitfires, and the Sioux Greyhounds, which is just outside of Garden River of my hometown. And I remember I wasn't drafted to the NHL. Typically, people are drafted at the age of 18 or 19, and I was drafted as a 20-year-old. I had to make some lifestyle changes. I had to dedicate a little more time to fitness and eating properly. And I think I got a little too relaxed. I was going out with my friends on the weekends, and I wasn't doing the right things that I need to do to become a professional hockey player. So those were, again, some more obstacles and challenges that I had to face as a young man. But it's, I made some changes that summer, and it paid off, because I was drafted to the National Hockey League in the 7th round, which is the last round of the draft. And typically people who are drafted that late, or people who are signing free agents, don't make it to the NHL. So already I'm a little bit of an outsider, and people say, "Oh no, you don't have a chance to make it to the NHL." But I kind of pushed that all aside. I knew that if I dedicated some time to working out, and really thinking about the game that I love to play as a young man growing up in Garden River, I think kind of just having that confidence that I've instilled in myself and my abilities really kind of shaped who I was going into my first year of professional hockey. And I think I played a year and a half in the AHL before I got the call up to my first NHL game, which was against the New York Islanders. And I was 22 years old, playing my first NHL game. My parents got to fly out. My brother came to my first game, and that was definitely a special moment. But again, all that happened because I was, 16 years old, and I set goals for myself. And in order to accomplish those goals, you have to make sacrifice and you have to work hard for it. So, 22 years old, playing my first NHL game. I believe it was in February. And so I played for the Los Angeles Kings, and a couple of weeks and a couple of months went by, and I was still in the NHL. And then all of a sudden, playoffs were starting, and playoffs typically start in April. So, I had a couple months in NHL. That was a lot of fun. And playoffs, and everyone dreams of winning a Stanley Cup. So, coming to my first playoff series, I was definitely nervous. I remember just thinking, this is nuts. I've been dreaming about this moment my whole life. So, but a couple months go by, and we end up in the Stanley Cup Finals playing the New Jersey Devils, and all my family's coming to every game. And I know my community back home is watching. They're doing live streams at the our local community center, and I'm getting lots of loves and lots of messages from people in the community saying, just cheering me on, saying they're watching, which meant a lot to me, because growing up, my dad always taught us, be proud of who you are and where you come from. And in those games, I definitely could imagine in my head that my community members watching me, cheering me on, and just imagine that someone from, our small community of Garden River made to the NHL. And that's what kind of motivated me to work hard in that playoff series. But a couple a week or so went by, and we ended up winning the Stanley Cup in 2012, which is, a pretty special moment. And every year they Stanley Cup winners get to bring the Stanley Cup back to the community. So I decided to bring it back to Garden River, and we had a big powwow, we had a big celebration, and that was definitely probably the highlight of my career. I think I was 23 at the time when that happened. But to share that day with my community and my family members, that's kind of that was the goal, as a 16-year-old, and staying in all those weekends and putting all the hours into training and my craft. That was all worth it. And then the next season started, and we got gifted our ring. So I'm not sure if you can see this that well, but this is the first Stanley Cup ring that we got. I can show a little bit more after in the questions, but that's the first one. And then the LA Kings 2012. And then my name right here is the Nolan, and my number 71. And that's probably my most special ring. So you can see how big it is right there. But so that was a proud day. They got those rings. And then 2 years later, we were fortunate enough again to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals against the New York Rangers. And at Madison Square Garden is one of the historical rinks and arenas in the world. So to think about doing it again and bringing the Stanley Cup was another dream come true. So we ended up winning that series also. So we won a second Stanley Cup in 2014, which is pretty crazy, because some of these people play their whole careers and never won a Stanley Cup. You look at Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau. These guys have played in the NHL for 20 plus years and haven't come close. But for me to kind of win 2 Stanley Cups in my first 3 years of professional hockey is pretty crazy. But I was able to bring the Stanley Cup back to Garden River in our community. And again, we did the same thing. We had a powwow. We had some family celebrations, some friends in town. And so we were gifted with a second ring now. Now this one's a little bit more flashy, but this one's very special to me also. So there's this ring, Stanley Cup champions. Again, Nolan 71. 2014. We have some details here, and I'll put them both on so you can see the comparison. Yeah, so these two rings here are, I don't know, those are my times in LA. And after I played hockey in LA, I played for the Buffalo Sabres, which is 30 minutes right where I live right now. My parents live down the road from me. So it was kind of like I was playing at home almost. I right now live in St. Catharines, Ontario, and Buffalo's just over the border. But anyways, my brother, who's about an hour away, and my parents were able to come to every single game, and that was a lot of fun. Obviously, we weren't a great team, but just the experience of having family members at the game, and that kind of kept me motivated. And every time I played hockey, I always think about my community and kind of where I come from. And whenever I'm on a road trip or I see someone who looks like me, and I'd be sure to say hello. Or if someone's at the games and on the glass, try to throw them a puck or throw a stick over the glass. And that's something that's kind of stuck with me my whole career, because I knew if I worked hard and try to be a positive role model, I'll be able to do things like this and talk to you guys and do hockey schools in the summers that my brother developed for our family. He's kind of the brains behind the operation. So I know he talked to you guys about the 3-0 hockey school, and that's probably the most fun that we have as a family. It's obviously work, and to come into town and visit communities and teach the game, but also talk about working hard and being future leaders for our communities. We definitely need our young ones to set goals and to set dreams. And if I would have told myself when I was 16 years old that I have 2 Stanley Cup rings by the age of 24, I would have said I was crazy. But I worked hard for it, and I dreamed, and it came true. But after Buffalo, I was able to play with the St. Louis Blues in 2019. And again, the same thing there. St. Louis Blues has never won a Stanley Cup before. So I was able to join them on their journey to the Stanley Cup Finals, where we played the Boston Bruins. They played the big Zdeno Chara. I believe he maybe broke his jaw before one of the final games, and he came out with a cage. And I remember being in the rink and the crowd just erupting, and watching Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand play. But again, that was a pretty special moment, and I was fortunate enough to be gifted another Stanley Cup ring, because I did play a couple of games that season with them and spent a lot of time with the organization. And I was gifted this third ring. This third ring's probably the nicest ring. The LA ones mean a lot to me because that's where I started my career, but these St. Louis ones are pretty remarkable, and these are probably the nicest ones. So I'll show you this one here. And then on the sides, very detailed. They have a little monument there in St. Louis that's big to their community. And then on the side has my number, and just some pictures here. Everyone's celebrating. So if you want to see again a comparison of all three together, it's pretty. And again, these things are not rings that I can wear every day, but these are things that I've accomplished in my life, and I'm very proud of. So anytime I get to do events like this and show you guys and show anyone that's never seen anything like that before, it means a lot to me. And again, I put a lot of time and effort into my hockey career, and these are the things that pay off. So I think it kind of just shows you whatever you want to do in life. If you want to be a doctor or a basketball player or a teacher or a nurse or whatever you want to do, it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of time and a lot of effort. And there's going to be some ups and downs, and for hockey. Ours is more physical, but if you want to be a teacher, it's more mental, and you got to be prepared to study and to focus hard. But in the end, once you get to do what you set your mind out to do, and what your heart, it's you feel pretty good about yourself, and that that gives you confidence in your stuff and your ability and in your body. So I think that's probably my message today, is to set have big dreams, set goals for yourself, but know that if you don't work hard for it, it's probably not going to happen. So have fun, work hard for your dreams and your goals, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes it's difficult, and you might need help saying, hey, what should I be doing? Should I be working harder? Or should I be reading more? Should I be working out more? I think it's important to ask for help, and it's because it's hard to do things on your own. So again, if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. And if you want to see the rings again, I'll show you. So thank you for listening. And so let's get some questions.
We certainly have got questions for you. They're flying in here.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's going to be too many to answer, so I won't be able to choose them all. Let's see. I think I'll read you the compliments first. You are very cool. Is your hat from your website?
Yes, our hat is on the website, and we have our Instagram there, and you just can message my brother or go on the website there and place an order, or who knows, if he likes it, he'll do you a favor and send you one for free.
Oh, he's going to have a million requests.
Yeah.
And Hunter Lecky says, what made you want to play hockey?
I think just growing up, I think, like I said, growing up in Northern Ontario, and my dad making rings, and it was just a fun game to play with your friends. So to think about as a job, a profession, I get to go hang out with, 23 of my best friends every morning and play a game. And it's definitely a great job and a lot of fun, but it's not easy. It's a lot of sacrifice, but from a young age, I knew that it's what I wanted to do.
Okay, one more compliment. You're very motivational. And were you surprised when you won a Stanley Cup?
I think that I was so young. I think it was my first year in the NHL, and I was kind of just going with the flow. I probably didn't even think about the playoffs, and I think I was just kind of in the moment, say, wow, we're here, we're in the NHL playoffs. I watched this on TV my whole life. So I think I just kind of took it day by day. And so I think I probably wasn't surprised. I was just kind of in the moment. But when I won it with St. Louis 2 years ago, as a 30-year-old, it's definitely very appreciative and realize how lucky I was.
Wow. Nathan P. says, why is your favorite sport hockey?
Why is my favorite sport hockey? I think just growing up in Canada, I think we know how special it is, and it's just a great team sport. I mean, sometimes if you don't have the best game, your teammates could help you and help lift you up. And I think it's just a great team sport. You get to hang out with your friends, and lots of other sports are very individualized, and I don't know, I just something about being in that cold rink, and you get to have a little physical contact once in a while, which is nice. But yeah, so I don't know, that's just how I loved it.
Okay. Soleil says, was playing in the NHL worth missing all the fun stuff like parties and hanging out with your friends?
It was, those things can get a little bit old. I think if you're, partying lots with your friends and doing all those things, it's obviously fun in the moment. But now I'm 32 years old, and I've accomplished a lot by missing those parties and sacrifice into this. But I've had a lot of success, and I've had these 3 Stanley Cup rings to kind of show for that. But yeah, it could be a little bit difficult, I think, when you're in the moment, telling your friends, no, I can't go tonight, or passing up on that McDonald's. But if you have a dream and something that you want to do, it's definitely worth it.
Well, you've certainly shown us that. Hunter says, what was the hardest team you played, and what was the easiest team you played?
I think when I played for the LA Kings, we had a big rival with the Anaheim Ducks. It was kind of known as the freeway face-off. They were 45 minutes away down the same highway as us, and lots of the fans always came to both games. So they're a big, strong, physical team, and so were we. So those were definitely intense games. And the easiest teams, probably the other team I played for, the Buffalo Sabres. They weren't a great team, but yeah, we only played them a couple of times.
Okay. Nhl says, when did you discover your love for hockey?
Yeah, when I was a young man. Again, when my dad would build rinks outside, and I remember just skating out there all day and night, and yeah, I think just something about skating on that rink in the cold, freezing, dark winter nights with my brother, and having just a little light and a couple pucks was probably when I fell in love with the game.
Sounds wonderful. Hunter again says, how many teams were you on?
In the NHL, I played for LA Kings, Buffalo Sabres, and St. Louis Blues. And I also recently went to the Pittsburgh Penguins training camp. So I got to skate with Sidney Crosby there. That was pretty exciting. But yeah, so it's 3 NHL teams.
Wow. Phoebe says, are you proud to be First Nation?
I'm very proud. I think to come from a small community and to make it to the NHL and to be able to share my story and my dreams of playing NHL, and to realize that we are a very determined and very proud people, and if we have a goal and a dream, it means a lot to a lot of people. So I think that's why we try to push our youth and the young ones to dream big, because it's kind of when one of us is successful and does great, it makes us all happy, because again, we're from small communities and yeah, I think something just about being First Nation just kind of feels like we're all together and we're all one,
supporting each other.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to read you a couple more compliments before we go to the next question. Your rings are so cool. You are so motivational. I went to your hockey camp and I like your personality. You are a good sport. You have done a good job. Here's one. Nice work. Now I'm come to a question. Did you ever get hurt in the NHL?
Yeah, I lost my tooth here, so I got to fix that soon. I got a tooth missing, a couple stitches. I had back surgery actually, so I couldn't play hockey for, I think, 7 months. So that was really tough. You have to find a way to get your fitness back. So I remember I could barely walk after my back surgery. I had shoulder surgery. So there's definitely some bumps and bruises on my body, but I can still move around right now pretty good. And yeah, again, it was all worth it to play in the NHL.
Well, the fact that you've had surgery leads us into our next question, which is from Mohammed, who says, did you ever break a bone in the NHL?
I never broke a bone. I had a little bit of disc problem in my back that they had to fix. I had some nerve damage in my shoulder, but I never broke a bone. No, never broke a bone. Actually, I did break a bone. I think my finger. My finger was a little bit swollen. I broke a bone in there.
Okay. What was your worst loss? Your worst loss, if you have ever lost?
Well, my worst loss. I think if I was as a team, as a hockey player, we played Chicago Blackhawks in the 2013 playoffs. I think in overtime or double overtime to go to the Stanley Cup final, I believe. That was a big game. It was in Chicago, and I'm sure if you guys can YouTube it, it's in Patrick Kane scored a goal and did a double knee slide and his big celebration. So that was probably our biggest loss. But yeah, nothing. I didn't really take any of that with me. I kind of left it at the rink and moved on, and realized it's just a game and it's just meant to be fun. So obviously it sucks to lose, but it's just a game.
Okay. Do you like to play any other sports? Asks Olive.
Yeah, I think where I live now, lacrosse is really big, and all my friends play lacrosse. But once the school season ended, we always went back home to the Garden River, and there's no lacrosse there. So I think I always would have loved to play lacrosse with all my friends and kind of knowing how popular the sport is and how much it means to our people. I think that's a sport that I would love to play a little bit more.
Well, I think we're coming to the end of our time, but I'd like to, I know there's a million more questions that kids want to ask you, but I'd like to end off with this. You are really nice, says Kanan, and never give up during tough times. You are inspirational. And yes, Kanan, I must agree. I think you've really inspired us today.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot of
fun.
fun.
Any final words of wisdom you want to add for all our participants?
No, I think just I think you need to dream big and kind of have big goals for yourself. I think it doesn't matter kind of where you come from or what you have. When I was playing the NHL, I was living in Garden River in the summer, and I would run along the highway and bike along the highway, and I would just work out our. I was fortunate enough to be at a small community gym. It wasn't an NHL standard gym or even a professional fitness gym, but it was all we had, and I kind of worked with what I had. I'd work outside. I find a big tree and do single leg jumps on it. I would kind of use the outdoors. So I think that's something that should be known, is that whatever you decide to do, it's kind of doesn't matter where you come from or what you have. You just kind of figure out a way to make it work.
And in has come a message that said, thank you for being inspirational.
Yeah, thank you.
On the children. It's really been an honor for us to have you and to listen to your story. Really inspiring. Thank you from all of us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, if anyone wants to, I'll show you one more time. I got the 3 here. If you want one more.
Show us.
There's my 2 big ones.
Sure. They are very big, aren't they?
They are. They're
wow.
They're very big. Almost uncomfortable to wear. But yeah. So there they are.
So you wouldn't really wear them, would you? Will you keep them?
No, just to events maybe. I would carry them in a box and show the kids, but they're definitely big, and they really only come out for events. Other than that, they're sitting in the drawer and collecting dust a little bit. But no, they mean a lot. And yeah, I'm pretty lucky to have those.
And I've got one last question. Do you have any photographs of your family? I'm assuming that means on you now to show the children.
What's that? Of my
One last question. Do you have any photographs of your family? And I'm thinking they can probably find photographs of your family on, if they Google it, couldn't they?
Yeah, if they Google, yeah. If you Google my name and Stanley Cup, there's probably lots of pictures of me in Garden River. We were on that popular bridge in our community holding Stanley Cup with my dad and my brother. And I think there's a picture of me and my dad too, because he won Coach of the Year in the NHL. So when I won the Stanley Cup, they asked me if they could bring that trophy also for my father. He won that in 1997. So there's a picture of me and my dad with each of our trophies that we earned in the NHL, which is pretty crazy to think about, from two First Nation people in the same family from the same community, and kind of celebrating that. So it's pretty remarkable.
That is wonderful. Is that the one that says this is Indian land?
That is, yeah.
That's the picture that
yeah.
that the kids have got to look for. This is Indian land. It really is a lovely picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my Uncle Rick, I'm not sure if my brother mentioned that in his speech, but my Uncle Rick painted that, my dad's brother, when he was younger. And yeah, so it means a lot to our family.
This has been wonderful, really. It's really an honor to have you share with us your story.
Yeah.
Thank you, and I do hope we can do this again.
Of course. Thanks for having me. And hopefully this coronavirus goes away and we can all be in person next time we see each other.
Yes, we'd love that.
Awesome. All righty. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.